Hello everybody, I'm Oliver and welcome back to the Daintii channel. Now, as you can see from the shelf behind me, I like to collect video games. It's been a passion of mine for about 2 years now is when I really started getting into collecting, and I think I've amassed a decent collection so far, even if most of the games were just new games that I got on their release, as I was growing up. I managed to get a lot of retro titles and a lot of games that I really want. I'm actually working on a video that might take a little bit longer than my other videos, so instead I decided, why not for this week, take a look at all the games I got last month, July 2020, and I'll just show you guys, do a brief overview on each of them, and just like to show them off. This might become a monthly thing if I manage to get a lot of games in every month, but there might be some months where I just don't get that many games to warrant a full video, but this month I managed to get quite a few, so we're going to be taking a look at my July 2020 haul. So with that, let's get started. Alright, and starting off we have Mario Strikers Charged for the Wii. I got this game at a local retro game store. I mean, most of my games I actually get from local retro game stores, but I went there to see if I could find some interesting Mario games, and I picked this up along with another game that I'll showcase next. And this game is actually really fun. It's a soccer game that's Mario themed. It's a sequel actually to Super Mario Strikers on the GameCube. I don't have that one unfortunately, but I do have this one for the Wii. And it's a really good time. There's lots of different, it's basically like soccer on steroids. Like, their characters are wearing armor, the ball is like metal. It's really fast paced, and it's a really good time, really good multiplayer sports game that you can play with, your friends and family. It's a good party game. Alright, and next up we have Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3 for the Game Boy Advance. Unfortunately, it didn't come in the box, so I just got this cartridge. And like I mentioned before, I got this at the same time as I got Mario Strikers Charged, just right at the beginning of the month, because at that time I was looking into more Mario games. I was trying to find different Mario games to add to my collection, because I really like Mario, and I just wanted to build up my Mario game collection. So, this game, I mean, the title is pretty weird, like the naming conventions. This is Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3. It's a port of Super Mario Bros. 3 for the NES, which I actually happen to have the original, but I wanted to get this game because the portability is pretty cool. It's a cool novelty. And I mean, there's not much I can really say about this. It's Super Mario Bros. 3. Most people know that game. It's a really good game. Obviously, it's aged pretty well for a 2D platformer. Actually, I believe it's more similar to the Super Mario All-Stars look of the game, which I really like. I like that updated, 16-bit graphics. And overall, it's a fun time. It's a fun platformer. And when this game came out, of course, the Mario Advance series, it was great. Portable fun. Portable 2D Mario platformer, so I'm sure this had many people entertained during car trips, as kids. And yeah, sorry, I mean, what else can I say? It's Super Mario Bros. 3. You know what it is. Alright, and next up we have the big boy, Mario Paint for the Super Nintendo. Now, this is, it's a pretty big box because it includes the Super NES mouse and mouse pad, as well as the game cartridge, and I'm really glad that I was able to get this in the box, because this is the first ever retro game that I have like a big box for, which I really like, and it wasn't that expensive, and the box is in fairly good condition too, other than the price tag, which I had to cover up and it ripped off some of the cardboard. And I will never understand why retro game stores would ever add a non-removable sticker to a box. Like, why would you do that? Like, I could see a regular store doing that, but the entire model of this store is for game collectors. So why would they put a sticker that when you peel it off rips off the cardboard? It's so stupid. But anyways, I actually really like this game. I haven't had the chance to try it out on my Super NES because unfortunately it stopped working for some reason. I've yet to figure out why, but I might eventually have to replace it. But this is a pretty fun game, It's pretty basic. You can make music with it, and you can draw, pretty basic stuff, but back then it was really cool. And I've seen lots of people make some pretty impressive music with the app, with the Mario Paint app. So I'm really glad that I got to add this to my collection. It's another game that I really wanted, and now I can check it off my list that I have it. And in the box, that's really cool too. Alright, now we have Paper Mario, the Origami King for Nintendo Switch. And there's not much I can say about this game that I haven't already said. I actually have a whole review on my channel if you want to check that out that I posted last week. Just click the little eye in the corner. Actually, I don't know if this is the right corner. It could be this one. Who knows? But anyways, this game is really fun. And of course I had to get it because I'm a super huge fan of Paper Mario. I pre-ordered it just a little while after it was initially announced, and I got it on the release day. I actually ended up getting 2 packages because the Amazon one wasn't going to come on the same day as the release, so I ended up buying this at EB Games, and then I had to return the Amazon one, which happens a lot. I'm never really gonna pre-order from Amazon again. I think I've learned my lesson. The game never usually comes on the day, and you usually want to get it on release day. But yeah, I mean, if you've seen my review, you know I really like this game, and it was a solid time. I've already 100% completed it. Actually, back in the review video, I hadn't 100% completed it, but now I have, and it was, yeah, I like this game. If you really want to hear my full thoughts, check out my review. And yeah, so this game, obligatory, I did get it. Alright, and the next few games that I got were actually from a fairly large lot that I purchased from someone on Kijiji, which if you don't know what that is, it's kind of like the Canadian version of Craigslist. You find people selling things and you meet up in person. And do you like confetti? Because that was basically what this is. I got so many GBA games, and I got some DS games, some original Game Boy games actually, and there were some box DS games in there, so I'll go over all of them pretty quickly because some of them I have no idea about them, but I'll just go over them pretty quickly. Alright, and I'm gonna go over the boxed DS games that I got first, since those are kind of the most important. And the first one I got was this Custom Robo Arena for the DS. I don't know why I said for the DS, they're all for the DS. But this game, it looks like a pretty fun, you know, actually, I don't even know, to be honest, I have no idea what it is. But it does look like it's pretty fun. It seems like it's published by Nintendo. So, you know, it's probably a pretty quality title. And it's probably something that if I got when I was a little kid, you know, growing up in the DS and Wii era, I probably would have gotten some good time out of, you know. If anyone else has played this game, please let me know in the comments how it is. But I can't really see myself playing this now because I don't really have any interest in it. It's from a series that I'm not familiar with, but I did want to keep it because it's in the box and it's just a nice way to fill out my collection. And next up is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Time. And I'm pretty sure there was another game that came out that was called Explorers of Sky that like kind of went along with this, but this one is just Explorers of Time. The Pokemon Mystery Dungeon series has always been pretty interesting to me. But when I tried, the only game I've ever tried in the series was the demo for the Switch one. I think it was like a remake of the first game. And I really didn't like it. The gameplay just wasn't for me. But I do love Pokemon in general, so I did want to keep this, obviously, because it's in the box. And it does look like it's a pretty decent game. I mean, like I said with the other one, if I got this when I was a kid, I probably would have played it. And maybe I would be a fan of Mystery Dungeon today. But for now, this one's just going to stay on the shelf. But it does look pretty cool. It's a Pokemon game. And Pokemon DS games are often hard to come by, even the spin-off ones, so I'm actually pretty glad that I have this in my collection. Alright, and now we have the more important ones. These are Pokemon mainline series games. And obviously those are always really expensive. First, we got Pokemon White 2. This is a Gen 5 game. I mean, obviously you probably know what this is if you're watching this video, so I'm not gonna really have to explain to you what Pokemon is or even what this specific game is. I haven't actually tried this one out specifically yet, but I do plan on it because I want to go through every Pokemon game and complete the national dex in Pokemon Home by taking all those Pokemon from those games and bringing them over to Gen 8. But I do plan on getting this one. I already have Pokemon White, but it's nice to have White too because there were probably some Pokemon that were exclusive to this one. You know, maybe some mythicals like Genesect, Meloetta, just to name a few. And who knows, I've heard pretty good things about Gen 5. A lot of people say this is when Pokemon peaked. From when I played of Gen 5, I didn't really enjoy it as much as some of the other generations, but I might give it another try, especially with this game, and I can't wait to see how it turns out. Alright, and finally from the box DS games that I got from this lot, we have Pokemon Soul Silver. Now this is a pretty rare game, and I'm glad that I got it. I actually already had Soul Silver on cartridge that I got for Christmas last year, but I didn't have the box, so I was pretty glad that I was able to get the box and I was able to sell the cartridge for a good amount because, like I said before, this game is rare, and I'm glad that I have it now. I also have Heart Gold in the box, so now I have the pair together. And obviously, this is a very good game. You know, I said some people say that Gen 5 is when Pokemon peaked. A lot of other people say that these are the best games in the series, Heart Gold and Soul Silver. And I personally actually played this one, and I completed a living dex in it. and I had a really good time with this game. I actually played it in like January and February of this year, before everything shut down. So I have some really good memories of this game, even though they're only like 6 months old. But this was a really solid Pokemon experience, and I might actually make a specific video on those games eventually. So yeah, this is Pokemon Soul Silver. What else can I say? It's in the box, and I'm really happy that it's in the box. Alright, and for the loose games, I decided to go with the tabletop view just because it's easier to actually see them since they're pretty small, and if I was doing the live action segments, it would be kind of hard to see them and see the cartridge art, but this way you can see them better. And also I just want to go through them really quickly, so I think it's better if I just show them off this way. First off, we have, I'm going to do the GBA games first, I guess. We have Mario Kart Super Circuit, and I actually have 2 copies of this. I don't know why the person was selling 2, but I guess lots of people, if you look up GBA game lots, you're pretty much guaranteed to find this game because a lot of people just want to sell it. I'm really glad to have it because it just brings me one step closer to having all the Mario Kart games. Unfortunately, it's not in the box, but I could always get a box later, although it's not necessarily a high priority. And I'll just trade in the other one because there's there's not much sense in having 2 copies of the same game. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I like this game from what I've tried of it. I played it a little on the 3DS, and I really liked it. I mean, it's not necessarily as good as, like, for example, the modern Mario Kart games. That's just the nature of Mario Kart. It's always evolving. So it's a pretty decent game to add to my collection, nonetheless. And next we have this Need for Speed Underground. This looks like an EA game, and I know Need for Speed is a racing game, but I'll be honest, I have no idea anything about it. I think I have played one of the games, and it seems like a pretty standard, just like car simulator, driving simulator, racing game. So it's not something that I'll really get much enjoyment out of, to be honest, especially since it's a GBA game, so, the graphics aren't going to be that good. There's not going to be that much of an incentive. But, it's in my collection, which I guess is a theme for some of these, I guess they're in my collection now, so, it just helps to fill out the collection. Next, we have these 2 games. They're both Harvest Moon. One of them is Friends of Mineral Town, and the other one is more Friends of Mineral Town. And when I first saw these, I assumed that maybe one was like an expansion on the other, like an updated version, but it does seem to be like an actual sequel. And I'm not really familiar with the Harvest Moon series, but they seemed like some pretty solid games to me, maybe, I know I've said this before, but I've said this a lot of times, but maybe when I was a kid, if I had these, then I would get some solid playtime out of them. But it's pretty cool that I have both the Harvest Moon, and Friends of Mineral Town and more Friends of Mineral Town. So, yeah, I don't really know how much more I can say about these since I haven't actually played them yet. But I just want to show you that I have them now. Next up, we have Crash Bandicoot: The Huge Adventure. Unfortunately, there's a little mark on the logo, but I guess that's fine. And I think this is a platformer game for the GBA. It's kind of weird. I didn't realize that Crash had GBA games or even Nintendo console games at all. So that was pretty surprising for me to see. I haven't tried this, but I do love a platformer, so maybe it would be worth my time to check it out. Maybe eventually I can even make a whole video about it if it's interesting enough. So, it's a Crash game, so it seems pretty cool to have. Alright, next, continuing on the Crash Bandicoot train, we have Crash Super Pack. So this contains 2 games. It has Crash Nitro Racing, Crash Nitro Kart, sorry if I butchered that name there, and Crash 2 N-Trance, which is apparently a sequel to Crash Bandicoot: The Huge Adventure, which is pretty cool that now I have. Not only did I get, the original game, I also got the sequel, plus Crash Nitro Kart is always pretty cool. I have played the PS2 version. I actually owned the PS2 version of the game back when I actually did have a PS2. I don't have the game or the console anymore, but I remember having a good time with it. Of course, this was when I was really young. And the GBA one, it might not be as good because, of course, it's a GBA, so no racing game can be really that good on a 2D console. But having that other 2D platformer, the sequel, is really nice, especially if I enjoyed the first one, I can enjoy the second one. So I might get around to playing this sometime. I actually did pop it in very briefly because I wanted to see how the racing went, and it was pretty okay. It's about what you would expect from a GBA racing game, as I mentioned before. But yeah, this super pack is pretty nice to have. Alright, and next up we have Rayman 3 for the GBA. I'm pretty unfamiliar with the Rayman franchise, but I know it's a Ubisoft classic. You know, it's a pretty well-known series, I guess. Like, I'm aware of it, but I haven't really played any of the games. And this seems to be, you know, pretty much in the vein of the Crash Bandicoot GBA games in that it's a 2D platformer, which, as I said before, I always enjoy. So I might get some enjoyment out of this game if I get around to playing it. And if I do, who knows, maybe I'll make a video, like I said before. But this might be a good introduction to the Rayman franchise for me, which is pretty cool because, like I said before, I haven't really played any of the games. So if I like this one, there's a whole bunch of other games I could try out in the Rayman series that I might like. So yeah, this is a pretty cool game to add to my collection. Alright, next we have Mario vs. Donkey Kong, the game that started it all for the GBA. I don't know why I had to say it was for the GBA again, but yeah, this is obviously for the GBA. Look, it says Game Boy Advance. I have played the DS version of this game, and I believe the Wii U version. I think I played a little bit, the Amiibo Adventure or whatever it was called. And I actually was a pretty big fan of this series when I was a little kid. I don't know where my copy of the game went, or maybe I didn't own it at all. Maybe I just like played it on someone else's console or something like that. But I did actually enjoy that, so I will be getting around to playing this eventually. And I think it's a pretty good series, so I'm glad that I have the original game in the series that started it all. So it's pretty cool to have, pretty cool game to add to my collection. Like I said, I haven't actually personally played it, but I know this game has pretty nice gameplay. It's pretty unique in the way that it plays. So I'm actually kind of interested to see how it plays when there is no touchscreen. Like the DS and the Wii U both had touchscreens, so you could alter how the game, like, you know, you could draw the tracks and stuff like that, and design everything for your minis. But I'm actually pretty interested to see how this game plays. Actually, it's called Mario vs. Donkey Kong, but technically it doesn't mention anything about the minis, so maybe these aren't in this game, who knows. But I'll throw some gameplay up on the screen, you know, maybe I'll just realize that I was really stupid and I misrepresented what the game was while talking about it. But that's what you get when you talk about games that you haven't played for a video, so yeah. Alright, and next up, this is the only DS game that I got, and it is FIFA Soccer 10 for the DS. I had no idea they even made FIFA games for the DS, which is kind of weird, like bringing a sports game on a portable console. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. I guess this came out in 2009 because usually the game's released the year before the actual name of the game. So I guess that's pretty interesting. It might be actually kind of interesting just to pop it in to see how it actually plays, because I've never really been a fan of sports games. I mean, I guess I'm not really a fan of sports in general, but I've never really played any of the FIFA or 2K or Madden or any of those kinds of games. I've never really been interested in those. So, you know, this game, even when I was young, I probably would have not really been interested in getting this. But, you know, like I said with the other ones, you know, it's in my collection now. Will I play it eventually? I'm gonna say probably not. But I can't play every game in my collection. That would take too long. So this is just an interesting title to add. Alright, and next up we have Beyblade V-Force Ultimate Blader Jam, and guess that's the full name for it, developed by Atari, for the GBA. Why do I keep saying that? I keep saying for the GBA. Obviously it's for the GBA. But anyways, I'm kind of unfamiliar with this. I did play Beyblades when I was growing up. I definitely was pretty into doing Beyblades with my friends. And when I looked at gameplay for this, it seemed like there was some elements that were like battles and other elements that were like, seemed like puzzle platformers. It had that kind of pseudo 3D feel, which I guess is necessary for something like Beyblades. But this actually seems pretty interesting. Honestly, I'm not really that interested in this kind of game, but you know, it's here nonetheless, and there's not really much I could say about it. You know, it's Beyblade. It's a Beyblade game. I'm not sure if there are other Beyblade games. There probably are, considering how popular this franchise was for a good bit. And also it looks like there's like, I know there's a Beyblade anime at some point. I obviously didn't watch it, but I was pretty into Beyblades as a kid, so this is kind of interesting that they have a Beyblade game for the GBA, which is kind of weird because when I play Beyblades, obviously the main consoles were like DS and Wii and stuff like that, so I guess Beyblades have been around for longer than I remember, which is an interesting fact that I just learned, and now this is in my collection. Alright, and next up we have Uno 52 for the GBA. Now, I mean, this is an Uno game, so, you know, that pretty much explains it all. Although, I am kind of confused. I looked up gameplay for this game, and I couldn't really make heads or tails of it, to be honest. I didn't know what was going on, and it seems like it would be pretty weird to release this kind of game on the GBA. You know, a console where you need, like, link cables to play with other people. I don't really know how you would play by yourself, if that's even possible. To play single player on this. I guess you could play versus an AI, but like I said, I mean, it seems to be pretty standard, just Uno, I guess. When I saw the gameplay, I mean, it looked like there was like 4 decks. I had no idea what was going on. It looked like you could see everyone's cards. So it was pretty interesting, but this might actually be pretty interesting to see, like, if I just do the research and look into actually how this plays. It might actually be pretty interesting, because it's a card game, video game for the GBA, so, you know, you don't really see that every day. So yeah, this is in my collection now. Alright, and next up we have Dragon Ball Z Boo's Fury. And obviously Dragon Ball is a pretty common, you know, it's a pretty popular franchise. I've never personally watched it because I don't really watch anime, I don't really watch stuff like that. But when I was looking up the gameplay, it seemed like a pretty, you know, pretty standard JRPG, which I guess is pretty fun. I've never really played too many RPGs, although I'm a big fan of Pokemon and that is an RPG. But this game seems pretty unique. It seems like, or actually no, it doesn't seem that unique. It seems like a run-of-the-mill RPG. But if you're a fan of Dragon Ball, you might enjoy this game. I personally am not, but maybe I can still enjoy it nonetheless. We'll see. But yeah, this is Dragon Ball Z Boo's for Boo. Actually, I don't know how you pronounce that. I guess it's probably Boo. I have no idea. I don't even know who Boo is. You know, all I know is, you know, Goku and that other guy, the weird like Mewtwo-looking guy that has like, you know, spots on him, like purple spots. I don't know who he is. But anyways, that's all I'm familiar with, so I'm not really that familiar with this franchise. But, you know, it's Dragon Ball, it's a JRPG. What's there not to love if you're a fan of those kind of games? So, I guess if you are, maybe I would recommend this, although I haven't played it. So, we'll see. Alright, and second to last, we have Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Duel Stories for the Game Boy Color. Now, this is my first game that I have gotten that is for the Game Boy / Game Boy Color. They're kind of interchangeable. I know that there are some exclusive to Game Boy Color, but to be honest, I would consider them, you know, pretty equal. So I'm pretty happy. Like, I actually got another one that I'll show in a minute, but so it's pretty cool to actually get to have these games in my collection and that the GBA supports playing them, so I can actually get some enjoyment out of them. This one seems like, when I was looking up gameplay for it, it seemed like pretty much just an adaptation of the card game. I don't know how good it could be because of the limitations of the Game Boy Color, but I guess a card game like Yu-Gi-Oh! Is pretty simple. I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh!, but I was pretty big in my school, you know, in like elementary school, so I saw other people playing it. Yu-Gi-Oh! It's not really something that's interesting to me, just like the Dragon Ball thing, but maybe it's interesting to you. When I looked up gameplay for this game, I found a video that was like, talking about how like this game is like terrible, which I didn't watch the video, but maybe that will interest you. So I guess maybe it's not that good of a game, but we'll see. I guess I'll try it out just because the novelty of it being a Game Boy Color game. I don't really like this transparent case though. I think this might be the case for other Game Boy Color games, but this case kind of just bugs me. Like the green, like I don't really like video game, you know, like games and consoles that are like translucent. I don't like seeing the dirty insides of it. I always think they look kind of weird, but I guess that's, you know, that's what this is. So I have this game, and yeah, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, I don't really know what else I can say. And finally, the last game is my favorite of the bunch, Pokemon Crystal for the Game Boy Color. I am really happy that I have this because I am a huge fan of Pokemon, and I don't have any of the Pokemon games pre-Gen 3 until now. I have Crystal, and that's pretty much the best I could have asked for. I mean, the original Gen 1 games are pretty iconic, but Crystal probably has the most content. As you know before, I'm a pretty big fan of the Johto games. Like, I really liked Heart Gold and Soul Silver when I played those. Actually, I pretty much just played Soul Silver, but I really enjoyed it. So Crystal was pretty cool. I booted up on my GBA already just to test it to make sure it worked, and it was pretty cool. I didn't get too much into it. To be honest, the Gen 1 and Gen 2 Pokemon games are not really games that I'm really that interested in playing, and I'll tell you why. It's because they've aged kind of poorly, the graphics, and it seems like pretty slow. So, and you know, they already have remakes Gen 1 and 2 have both gotten excellent remakes. Fire Red and Leaf Green, I really like. Heart Gold and Soul Silver, I really like. So I probably won't get around to like fully completing this game, but I have played Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which is the remake. But it's still nice to have them in my collection, and I still want to collect them all nonetheless. It's not in the box, but you know, maybe I can find a box eventually, although that might be pretty hard. I think this might be one of the rarer of the earlier Pokemon games, because it's Crystal, you know, it's better than Gold and Silver, I think. I don't know, probably it is, because they had the chance to improve on some stuff. I think it's only for Game Boy Color, and also they had like a Celebi event, stuff like that. But it is a pretty cool game, and I'm actually really happy that I got to add this to my collection. Again, it is translucent, which I don't really like, but I guess I'll have to live with it, and it's less noticeable because of the blue shine. Actually, it looks kind of green when I show this on camera, but it's very blue when you see it in person. So yeah, that's every loose game cartridge that I got. Normally, I don't really buy huge lots of games because I don't usually like getting games that I'm just completely uninterested in just for the sake of filling up my collection. I like to only add games to my collection that I actually personally want to play, could see myself playing. But the reason why I got this is pretty much just for Pokemon White 2 and Pokemon Soul Silver. Those, like, definitely, just the combined value of those games definitely made it worth the price. And those other GBA games, you know, some of them I am a little bit interested in. Maybe I'll play them one day. We'll just have to see. So that concludes showing off that lot. Alright, and that lot was the last thing I purchased in July of 2020, and I think it was a pretty solid month for my game collecting. I liked being able to fill out my collection. You know, I got a lot of new stuff, and I hope you guys enjoyed me watching this video. I know it might have not been the most interesting, but I just wanted to put out a video this week to keep on schedule while I work on a different video that will take just a bit longer. So I hope you guys stay tuned for that video, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one. And remember to join my Discord server if you want to talk to me and other fans of the channel about various things. And if you want to get updates, you can do that, as well as follow me on Twitter. Obviously, subscribe if you haven't yet. If you want to see my content, you know, turn that notification bell on so you'll be notified when I upload. I try to upload every Friday around 5 p.m. And you can be the first to watch it if you turn on notifications. And that pretty much concludes this video. So I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.